Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to step into a slightly different, really fascinating clinical space. Today, we're exploring the mechanics of your mental body, and we're going to map out a real treatment plan for achieving radiant psychological balance. Think of this as a manual for your unseen anatomy. We're going to look at the exact ways your thoughts literally paint the atmosphere around you.
But before we start diagnosing our auras, we've got to establish a foundational truth about how the brain and mind interact. The neurologist Alan H. Roper really hit the nail on the head when he said, "The mind is an emergent property of the brain. It is not an automaton." That's absolutely crucial to understand. It means your mind is this dynamic, living phenomenon that actively shapes your reality. You're not just some programmed robot reacting to whatever happens. You hold the power to regulate your mind, and by extension, your own mental health.
So here is our clinical journey for today: assessing your mental state, anatomy of the mental body, diagnosing your aura colors, case studies in aura shapes, daily prescriptions for clarity, and finally, evolving towards inner radiance. Let's jump right in. Section 1. Assessing your mental state. Specifically, what's happening when you feel completely overwhelmed.
Think about the internal struggle we all face. Imagine your conscious mind, housed right there in the prefrontal cortex, as a single rational driver. Now, imagine that driver is trying to steer a team of wild, totally impulsive Mustangs. Those Mustangs represent your unconscious, emotional mind. And let's be honest, those Mustangs are strong. When toxic energy builds up from stress or trauma, the Mustangs just take over. They gallop off with you in tow, causing these massive mental earthquakes that completely shake your emotional equilibrium.
When those negative thoughts upset your balance, your non-conscious mind actually sends out distress signals. The trick is recognizing them. We're talking about severe mental fatigue, sudden waves of unexplainable fear, really tight muscles, or irritability that just builds and explodes out of nowhere. These aren't just random bad days. These are specific physical warnings telling you that your mental aura is getting distorted by toxic energy and desperately needs some conscious attention. Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of the Mental Body, and where these thoughts actually operate.
In occult psychology, your intellect operates on two very distinct levels. First, you have the lower mental body. This handles your everyday, concrete thoughts. It focuses on particulars and forms, like thinking about a specific house or a specific book. Then you have your higher causal body, which handles abstract reasoning and formless principles, like the concept of architecture itself or the underlying rules of math. True mental balance means having a healthy connection between these two levels.
So what exactly is this mental body? It's literally an ovoid-shaped vehicle of living, iridescent light surrounding your physical form, serving as the primary vehicle for your intellect. And here is the real key for your mental health. It constantly alters its shape and color based entirely on your mental vibrations. Regulating these vibrations is essential for emotional balance because every single thought you have directly modifies this body of light. To maintain this balance, there's a flow of vital force, known as prana, moving through specific streams in your body. Notice the rose-colored stream radiating outward. That stream is incredibly important because it specifically nourishes your entire physical nervous system. When your mental body gets agitated, this delicate flow gets disrupted, and that's exactly what leads to the physical tension and irritability we just talked about.
These energy streams connect the chakras right into the physical brain. We can see streams of yellow stimulating the intellect and violet flooding the upper brain. This links your esoteric mental aura directly with your physical neurology. Your thoughts aren't just floating around in the ether somewhere. They are physically wired right into your nervous system.
Section 3. Diagnosing your aura colors and exploring how emotions alter your hues. Just like a mental health professional would analyze a brain scan, we can use this diagnostic guide to map how specific thoughts generate distinct, visible colors in your aura. Look at the high-frequency colors. Violet signifies beautiful spiritual aspiration and psychological maturity. Rose shows unselfish love, and yellow is the hallmark of clear intellect. But down at the bottom, muddy brown reveals a buildup of selfishness, dirty green points to deceit, and a heavy dark blue indicates severe low energy and depression. The quality of your thought literally determines the clarity of your color. Section 4. Case studies in aura shapes. Let's analyze some specific thought forms. Let's look at our first case, a patient suffering from severe anxiety and depression. Here, we see a mental body dominated by irregular, chaotic shapes and thick clouds of dark blue. This perfectly reflects a mind that feels completely overwhelmed and stuck in a low-energy state.
However, we do see little flares of green showing through, which is great. It indicates adaptability and a conscious desire for insight, a will to heal despite that heavy, toxic energy. And now, interestingly, the aura of the average everyday person is noticeably heavier and bulging at the bottom. Why is that? Well, everyday selfish thoughts, worries, and petty grievances, like getting cut off in traffic, gravitate downward. We see bands of muddy brown for selfishness and splashes of scarlet indicating quick flashes of anger. These are usually topped by green, which shows general adaptability to everyday life, but it's definitely a bit muddy overall.
But then, look at the aura of a psychologically mature, balanced person. This is exactly what we're aiming for. It exhibits a beautifully symmetrical, radiant ovoid shape. All those heavy, muddy brown colors at the bottom completely vanished. Instead, the aura glows with pure, clear yellows of intellect, soft roses of affection, and it's crowned with a brilliant, glowing violet cap of high spiritual aspiration.
Section 5. Daily prescriptions for clarity. So how do we treat that muddy aura?
We can actually use simple, daily exercises to quiet the mind. One incredibly effective method is a color-focused mindfulness meditation. By using calming visual aids, like gentle pink tones, we can actively stabilize our erratic mental vibrations and finally calm our nervous system down.
Here is your first daily prescription. Just follow these really simple, mindful steps. Arrive in the present, pick one single color to focus on, find an object of that color and observe it, and then slowly move your gaze to another object of the same color. Doing this trains your brain to filter out all that anxious noise. It pulls your mental body out of chaotic vibrations and right into a state of steady clarity. It basically stops those wild Mustangs right in their tracks.
Your second prescription is a daily Kundalini breathing routine. This is a real game changer. It isn't just about relaxation. This breathing pattern scientifically re-energizes your brain by balancing the Jupiter and Saturn energies, which relate to awareness and patience. If you practice this over time, it drastically improves mental focus, helps clear out depressive energy, and gives you a safe release valve for deep-seated anger that would otherwise distort your aura into those jagged, muddy shapes.
Finally, Section 6, Evolving Towards Inner Radiance. Let's look at long-term mental health.
Mental wellness isn't just a finish line you cross. It's a highly dynamic state. Your mental evolution is a continuous journey. By actively managing your thoughts every single day with these prescribed meditations, you literally direct your brain's neuroplasticity. You are rewiring your physical neural pathways, and that shifts the structural beauty and the vibrational frequency of your mental aura toward a permanent radiant state.
So, knowing that every single thought you have, no matter how small, acts as a brushstroke painting the living atmosphere around you, what vibrant colors will you choose to weave into your mental aura today?